Welcome to Ganit Sutra. Hope you guys are doing well. One small disclaimer before we start the video. If someone is directly seeing this video first, then I kindly request you to see my first video for which the link is provided in the description. The first video I have given the framework to learn the applied math in a contextual way, and this video is in continuation to the first video where I will gonna give you a structured way to solve one verbal problem and one tabular data problem using these four steps so that this framework should be very clear to you so you can use the 1.25 or 1.5x speed for the previous video and can directly come to the second video. It will not take much of the time. So in this particular video, as I said you, I will use one verbal problem and will through all these four steps try to find a solution for the verbal problem. And same steps I will gonna use it for the tabular data problem. Okay. Now let's go to the verbal problem. Now the verbal problem is goes like this. Brother is currently 4 years older than his sister, and in 6 years the sum of their ages will be 40, which is the second condition. And the actual problem which we are trying to solve is what are their current ages. So this is a particular problem which we are trying to solve. Okay. Now this is very simple problem, but the motive is not to solve a hard complex problem, but to understand all the four steps which we're gonna use it to solve this particular. Now as I shown you in the previous example, the real world problem is in the form of verbal statements. Now we will use the mathematical modeling to convert this verbal problem into a mathematical problem. Okay. Now do this. Use the simple algebraic question. So we will assign a variable to a brother age. So consider it as B, which is a brother age, and S as sister age. Okay. Now, as per the first condition, a brother is currently 4 years older than his sister. So I will write B is equals to S plus 4. Now, as this is equals to, we have to add the 4 years to a sister's age to equate this particular condition. Somebody can write it like this. Both are same. Doesn't make difference. It's just a different way to represent it. Okay. Now, just for a simplification, we'll try to separate the variable towards the left hand side and the scalar quantity towards the right hand side. So same equation, I will going to write it like this, bring s to the left, which is equation number 1. Now what is the second condition? In 6 years, sum of their ages will be 40. Okay. Now I will add 6 years to B and 6 years to sister's age. Now they are saying the addition of their ages, which is this, is equals to 40. So again, you will try to separate out the variables towards left hand side and the scalar quantity towards right hand side, which will be like this: b plus s. Okay, 6 plus 6, 12 goes to the right hand side, which is 40 minus 12, which is equals to 28, which is equation number 2. So if I write it together, b minus s equals to 4 and b plus s equals to 28. Okay. Now this particular system of linear equation is called as the mathematical problem. We have used the simultaneous equations of algebra to convert the real world problem to a mathematical problem. Okay. Now let's try to find the size of this one. So we will use the elimination method. Now we need not have to do much. We try to add this both equations. So minus s plus s get cancelled out. So twice b is equals to 32. So b is equals to 16. Okay. And if we use this particular equation, b plus s equals to 28 and try to put the age is 16. So 16 plus s is equals to 28. So s is equals to 12. So using the analytical method of elimination method, we try to solve the mathematical problem to a solution. Okay. Now, what's the method? We'll try to backtest this particular equation, whether it is correct or wrong. How we will do that? So if we use this first equation where b plus s is equals to 28, as we know b's value is 16 and s value is 12, which is equals to 20. So these two values are matching. So our backtesting passes. And we can clearly say that our equation and the solution to that equation is matching. Hopefully, these particular 4 steps for solving the verbal problem is clear to you. Okay. Now let's move to the second problem, which is a tabular format. So what I'm trying to do, let's try to understand this particular problem. One brother and sister try to open the neighborhood saving fund. Okay. What does saving fund? So this tabular format suggests that after the end of 3 weeks, they will able to save $110. Okay. And at the end of the 7th week, they are able to save the $190. So now they want to find it out the equation which gives the relationship among these two variables. That if somebody tells that at the end of the 9th week, how much saving they will have it, okay, they should able to answer it using the equation. Okay. Now, again, if you see our diagram, this problem statement is in the form of tabular data. So if this is the real world problem, what is the first step? First step is to convert this real world problem, tabular data, into a mathematical. Okay. Now, with the assumption, because it's a complex mathematics, okay, which we're gonna say it in the calculus or linear algebra, that these two variables are linearly correlated. Don't pay much attention to it. Okay. I am saying that this y variable is equals to mx plus c. Now this x is the time elapsed in the form of fix, y is the combined savings, okay, and this c represents the initial saving. So I am saying that when I started this fund, I have, for example, $10 in my pocket. Okay, that is the c. So now this is the mathematical problem we have to find. So we have to find the equation with where there are no variables. So currently we have two unknowns over here, m and c. When we replace that, we can put any x value into this equation and try to find the y value. So I hope the first step is clear. We have converted the tabular data into a mathematical problem, which is y equal to mx plus c. Now we will use the simple substitution method to calculate the solution. Okay. So now let's say we have data rows. Let's try to replace the value to it. So y is equals to 110, m is the unknown, and x is 3. Okay. I hope up till now this is basically clear. So I will keep the c as is. Okay. Now to make it more precise, I will write this equation like 3m plus c equals to 110, which is equation number 1. Now what is the second? Second row, I will directly write it that 190 is equals to 7m plus c, which is equals to 7m plus c equals to 190. So again, we are at the same stage. We got two simultaneous equations to solve. Okay. Now, if we try to subtract this equation from this equation, okay, we will write it down like, let's first write it down the equation. So I beg your pardon, because we have changed the pay. 7m plus c equals to 190, and second equation is 3m. Let's write it down here. 3m plus c equals to 110. Now let's try to subtract this particular thing from the thing. 7 minus 3m is equals to 4m. This will get cancelled out. C equals to, if we give this, 80, and m is equals to 20. 80 divided by 4 is 20. And if we try to put this 20 into this equation, which is 3m plus c equals to 110. Okay, what is the value of m? Is 3 multiplied by 20 plus c equals to 110, and we will have 60 plus c equals to 110. C equals to 50. Now if you try to solve this particular thing, we got these two values. Now what is our initial equation? Y equals to mx plus c. Now I will keep y as it is, replace m 20m, and c is 50. What does this shows? It shows that initially they have started with $50. Oh sorry, I have to write x. Okay. Now let's consider, if someone asks me at the end of the 10th week, what will be my saving? So in this equation, you will write it down 20 multiplied by 10 plus 50, which is equals to 200 plus 50, which is equals to 250. Okay. So now this is how we are able to establish the relationship in between y and x. And that's what we wanted to achieve. Okay. Now guys, I will leave you with one code. Okay. As my idol always said to me, in this negative world, always find a job when you don't need the job and develop the skills when you don't need the skills. I know this journey going forward is going to be very slow, but at the end of this particular journey, it will be worth it. So happy learning, guys. Stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you.